Way to go, Victor. Hello, Victor and Atticus. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve, and this is Victor.
Hello.
We're both Alto owners, and Victor, we met through our group on Facebook. When we were camping last winter, Victor commented and we started a relationship, and now we've become friends. And I was very impressed with the hacks that Victor's made to his trailer for winter camping. So today Victor is going to explain what he's done. He's going to show it and what the benefits and the results are for anybody who's interested in winter camping. And yes, you can winter camp with a trailer and an Alto as long as you take the necessary steps to be prepared for it.
So the three objectives of winter camping modifications are to stay warm, to retain battery capacity, and to minimize condensation. To do that, I did add several modifications. I double glazed the porthole windows by adding polycarbonate panels. So there's some dead air space to reduce condensation and heat loss through the glass. I supplement the heating with the Wave 8 catalytic heater, which takes no electricity at all, so it doesn't tax my battery reserve capacity. If I have electrical service, I use a dish radiant heater, which is very quiet, much like the Truma, instead of the usual ceramic heaters, which are very noisy at night. And the radiant heater is very quiet, and it's instant heat, and I like that instant heat feature. As a demonstration of the wall temperature when it's hovering around 0 degrees, I can show you the readings on an area of the wall that's circulating air. I have 15 degrees, no condensation. Behind the cushion, there's plenty of condensation, and the temperature is 11 degrees. Moving on to the insulated area.
So you've insulated these walls. How did you do that?
I've added inch-thick EVA foam, which is really meant for exercise room flooring. It's gray to match the gray interior. And I have 18 degrees. And the thermostat is set to 18 degrees. So if the air is 18 degrees and the wall is 18 degrees, I'm probably not losing much heat to the walls with that inch-thick insulation.
Now, how did you install that? It just looks like it's pressed in there.
The rear bed area is insulated with the EVA panels that are just pressure fitted. So I cut them slightly bigger than the space around the windows and compressed it slightly between the ceiling or the bottom part of the cabinets and the window frame. And just by compression, it stays. It survived a 725 kilometer ride towing to Quebec. Nothing moved at all. So I don't have to add any kind of retentive element. It's just pressure fit if it's cut properly. The one area where I did have to use a couple of Velcro strips was the bathroom, where I didn't have opposing walls to compress the panels, and they were two 12-centimeter strips, and that was sufficient to keep the bathroom. That's another great feature. The bathroom gets very cold because most people have the doors and air doesn't circulate, and the bathroom is the coldest part of the entire trailer. I took the door off and have a curtain, so it's actually warmer than it would be with a door. The door gets a bit in the way, the curtain doesn't. In terms of cooking, to save on propane, if I have 30 amp service, I use induction cooktops. So my old 35-year-old camping pot set actually works on induction cooktops. I can have two different pans going at the same time, as long as they're not plugged into the same circuit, because each one is 15 amps, so it'll overload the circuit. So just plug them into different branches of the main breaker. In terms of water,
Yeah.
what I did is I brought out my tent camping water jug, and I also had a Toten Store portable waste container, and I bought a large funnel from Canadian Tire that you can use to drain your oil from your car, and I use it as a sink, and I brush my teeth and dump the dishwater in my Toten Store. It's a 15-gallon capacity Toten Store. It just fits in the aisle, and it's not too heavy. I can still lift it and put it on the road and tow it with my car to the dump station. So
How do you wash your dishes?
just like tent camping days. I use my large pot, boil up some water, dish soap, wash my dishes, and then wipe them dry. I lower my standards a little bit. I don't rinse them because I have limited supply of wastewater storage and fresh water if I'm not camping at an organized campground. So one of the most popular questions is, how do you go to the toilet if you're winter camping and your plumbing is winterized, which it has to be? Very simple solution. I started out with a PET portable toilet, which uses a bag system and a powder that converts liquid waste to a gel. And instead of using their framed folding toilet, I just use my own toilet bowl and use their bags and their powder system, which you can see in my own bathroom here.
Okay, so tell me about the flooring too, because you inspired me to do this to my trailer, and it's making a huge difference.
Yes, I found a thinner, I forget the exact thickness, but it's maybe a 1/4 inch EVA foam flooring that's wood grain. It's also like a puzzle piece. The pieces interlock. I just trimmed them to fit the current flooring. It protects the flooring from the sand and the grit that we can track in to the Alto, and it makes it a lot warmer to the feet during the winter. I have carpet runners as well to absorb the melting snow from our footwear, and they can be thrown into the laundry and washed. And the EVA flooring can just be wiped clean with a damp cloth or soap and water. And when worn, it can be easily replaced because it's removable. Nothing is attached. It just sits there by gravity. No adhesive used at all, and it lays quite flat.
Cool. So I did the same thing, and it really makes differences, as I mentioned. Anything else that you could recommend to people to go winter camping? You also have this curtain behind
Yes,
you, maybe.
I have a curtain, partly for privacy if I travel with a friend and they're sleeping in the front bed area. But in the winter, especially when it's very cold, what I do is I extend the curtain, which is mounted on a pressure-fitted curtain rod that is just a little bit bigger, and it's got a spring load. It's a little bit bigger than the side-to-side dimensions, and it just sits with nothing permanently attached to the Alto. It's just compressed, and it stays there, and it's actually sitting a little bit above a projection over the door, so it can't actually come down even if it slips a little bit, and it just retains the heat from the truma to the back 3/4 of the Alto where all the hot air registers are, and isolates the front area so I don't have to heat all that space that's not being used at night. And when it's not needed, it just stows away completely out of the way. Bed Bath & Beyond and Canadian Tire for the rod, or maybe even Bed Bath & Beyond for the rod. Very inexpensive hack.
Very good. I'm going to do that too, because I could see the temperature difference between the front and the back, and there's no sense heating the front when you're sleeping at night. You need that heat to bounce off the curtain and come to the back.
That's right.
great. So, what's the coldest you've winter camped in?
The coldest I winter camped was minus 24 degrees, and unfortunately my regulator failed on me, and I had no gas for the Truma. It shut down completely. Barely a pilot light size flame on my stove, and I had to find a place to park with electrical service to survive the night with 15 amps.
Huh. Okay.
I did add a propane tank blanket that needs 120 volts to operate. I also added a vinyl tank cover to protect the regulator from the elements. And I also purchased an inverter generator that gives me 1800 watts of charging capacity as a backup if my batteries run low and I need to plug the propane tank blanket into electrical service. Now, the Alto might not like being plugged into a generator because it might detect a ground fault. So I bought a bonded plug as well, which fools any appliance that needs a grounded receptacle into thinking that it's actually a grounded receptacle when it's really not. That's also available. It's called a bonded plug specifically for generators.
Okay.
And I tow with an electric vehicle, so I also needed a backup to charge my vehicle in case I run out of juice in the battery. And the only way to charge the electric vehicle is by having that bonded plug plugged into the 15 amp receptacle of the generator. I like to have a backup plan if things don't work out as planned.
Cool. Well, it's very warm in here. I know the temperature outside is hovering around 0, but it's going to get cold tonight. I'm sure we'll keep pretty
The true
close.
test will be in a couple of nights when it'll be 14 degrees below, or even 18 degrees below.
Tonight it's, no, tomorrow night it's going down to minus 18 overnight.
So then we'll find out
Yeah.
how well the insulation works and the hacks work.
Okay. Well, now you also have a document that talks a lot about these hacks and explains them. Where can people get that document?
It's in the file section. I believe it's in Altoist.
So the group Altoist, where I'm posting this video, there's also a section for files.
Winter camping tips.
Winter camping tips. Great. So people can consult that. So it's New Year's Day 2022. Happy New Year, Victor. Thank you for sharing this information. What's for dinner tonight in the Alto?
It's seafood pasta primavera.
Ooh.
On linguine pasta.
And you made it yourself, I imagine.
I will be making it myself.
You will be making. Okay. What time's dinner? Thanks, Victor. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay.